Hey guys, and welcome back to Regretsit, Brexit England, Northern Ireland, and Eastern Europe. And in Brexit England, Bojo the Clown, our Prime Minister, your Prime Minister. I always want to say not my Prime Minister, but our Prime Minister has lost another ethics advisor. Two ethics advisors. The first one he lost, right? Over the whole Priti Patel nonsense, where he said Priti Patel is a bully, right? And she's guilty, and Boris Johnson said no, she's not. So he resigned. You know, Instead of Boris Johnson sacking Priti Patel at the time, which is what he was supposed to do, but he knew he needed Priti Patel, right, so she could do some of her evil work later on down the line for him, right? Because that's why you always keep a witch on board with you, right, so that they can do your evil work for you. So we've got two ethics advisors that have left Boris Johnson now, because this one who's just gone now, Lord Gate, has just said that Boris Johnson, right, has no ethics at all, right? And there's no possible way that he can go out there and continuously lie for a man who has no ethics at all. And so then down the street, I've tried to say, oh, this has been all because of, it's all over the China steel arrangements. And saying, no, it's not. Because Lord Gate come out and said, no, it's not. It's because of Boris Johnson. Because Boris Johnson, right, is the worst kind of human being. He has been, right, Lord Gate has described Boris Johnson as odious. Right. Now you see, the thing is, when these lords use certain words, yeah, they use the words in exactly the correct place, right? And in their terms, right, and their way of speaking, when you say someone is an odious character, now, that's one of the darkest insults that you can give them, because that means that person is completely untrustworthy, right? They're an odious character. That means you cannot trust that person at all, right? The person is what you would call a criminal. You cannot trust them, right? In the same way, you can't trust Boris Johnson. What the hell do you can trust Boris Johnson with? You can't trust Boris Johnson with anything, because every second word that comes out of the man's mouth is a lie. And that's why he's lost another ethics advisor. And if you see, right, because obviously now you've got his MPs who have to come out, right, on places like GMB or LBC, and they need to come out and they need to defend his actions. So the first thing, there was all there, like, really gormless, like they was all being influenced by Dominic Raab, also as gormless as you like, right? We have no clue why he would have lost another ethics advisor. We don't know why. Have no clue. Really? You have no clue. This is what Paul Scully's come out. Paul Scully come out and said, no one knows why another ethics advisor has left Boris Johnson. No one knows the causation. Really? Well, the causation, I will tell you what the causation is. It's Boris Johnson. Okay, that's what the causation is, right? If you have a house built and your house falls down once, and you have it built back up again, and it falls down again, it's the same builder that's put it up. What the hell do you think the causation is? Could it just be like a bad builder, or do you think the bricks are bad? I mean, it could be. I mean, it could be the bricks was made of rice, unbeknown to you. And the minute they got wet, you know what happens when rice gets wet. So that could have been, right? Or I would put it down to the builder. Right? This country is in a complete catastrophe, right, because of Boris Johnson, the clown. But these politicians can look at people in the face, and just say to them, we don't know the causation. Well, how would we know? How would we know? So, well, first of all, you work really closely with him. We're looking from the outside, and we can see the causation. We can see, right, that this country is fucked up because of Boris Johnson. It's seriously messed up because of Boris Johnson. I'm sure that we can all look at that and see this, right? But these Tory MPs, right, will lead you to believe, well, we have no clue why, another ethics advisor would have left Boris Johnson, because Boris Johnson has no ethics. So now, there's a story out that he's not going to get another one. And to be honest, right, I would say that that's probably the best thing to do, because why the hell would anybody want to go and put themselves in that position to be Boris Johnson's ethics advisor? Because, he doesn't listen to you, right? And if you say to him, listen, you know what? Don't poke that lion with a stick. And then you go out the room, you come back in and he's lost an arm. And say, why did he poke the lion with a stick? Oh, you have to do something. I need my arm back. I need a new arm. So you need to do something now. Say, well, there's nothing we can do. Well, you need to get something done because this is your fault. Boris Johnson hasn't even gone to his ethics advisor, right, for advice, because the ethics advisor a long time ago was just like, you know what? Yeah. And he did state, that, in the beginning when he was hired by Boris Johnson, he said, listen, you know something, if I resign, right, that simply means, right, that this man has absolutely no ethics and there's nothing that can be done with him, because he said, I'm not the type of person who resigns just like that off a whim. Yeah, and a year into the job and he's gone. He's gone. And also, welcome back to By Any Means Necessary. Thank you so much for all your messages you sent me. And a special thanks here to everybody who signed up to my channel. I feel so blessed with so much people that signed up. So thank you so much for that. I'll go through all your messages. I'll answer as many as I can, but I will like all your messages for definite. And it's a very rare Saturday video for me, because normally I normally get this shit done throughout the week, right? But I'd missed yesterday, and I thought, you know what? There's so much news going on that I thought, you know what, it's pointless just leaving this till Monday, because I just have too much to talk about. I can do that though. I can just keep going. So, I don't know if you've been watching this, what's been going on in America, but this January the 6th committee stuff is just is really enlightening. It really is absolutely enlightening as to what's going on over there. Donald Trump and a lot of people around him, right, tried a direct coup on America. Donald Trump was fully aware all the time that the election had not been stolen from him. He even told people, you just say the election was stolen and leave the rest up to me. Even when the people that vote for him, and I'm not talking about the out and out racists, I'm talking about the people who are supposed to be moderate that vote for him. Even when one of their most distinguished judges in America, right, says that Donald Trump, right, is a complete danger, right, to America. Yeah. The only thing the judge didn't say is this man should be locked the fuck up immediately, because when you see the amount of plotting that these guys done, right, behind the scenes, they tried to murder the vice president. In what world, right, can you get away with this type of bullshit? What world could you get away with this? All of them, right, should have been rounded up the next day, and they should have all been thrown into prison. Because when you find out the plotting behind all of this, right, these guys, right, was trying to bring in, some things that went on in like 1887 to say, oh no, well, because this happened in 1887, we can do this now. And do you understand, right, that if these people had murdered the vice president, right, then there would have been you couldn't have actually got Trump out of office. it would have been virtually impossible to get him out of office at that point, because the vice president has to be there for a ceremonial role. But hopefully they might change that now. So that if another president ever tries what Donald Trump has tried, right? Because he's a complete and utter danger to the democracy of America, right? And it's really, I just, it's what gets me is the people. He has got millions of people knowing what this man is actually like, right? Taking the money off of pensioners and these type of things, and giving it to, like, his family members and his extended family members, giving them the money what he's collecting off of people who have not got the money to send out to him, right? Just the stupidity, right, of the people who vote for Donald Trump. I mean, you couldn't make this shit up. You really couldn't, right? But then, hearing all of this plotting, right, and watching senators, right, taking people round the Senate and round Congress, right, showing them, allowing them to take pictures of secure areas, right? Just one of the same people who done all that was in there doing reconnaissance, right? This person done a video of themselves saying how they wanted to kill Nancy Pelosi and AOC and Joe Biden, who and the vice president. These people actively tried to murder the vice president. I've got no time for Mike Pence, but this is ridiculous, right? The man should, people shouldn't be plotting to murder the man. It's completely, just utterly, just, I don't understand. I do understand, because I know that, there's a lot of racism behind this. But then, you've got a lot of, black, Asian and Hispanic people voting for Donald Trump. And you think, well, see, I don't understand that. Because I just like to know where, I just like to say to them people, where do you stand over Charlottesville? That's what I'd like to know from them people. Where do you stand over Charlottesville? Well, where do you stand with the Proud Boys? Or the 3%ers? Where do you stand with these people? That's what I would really like to ask all these Trump supporters. Where they stand with those people? Because, in their world, right, that they're trying to build for Trump, right, those people will be third-class citizens, right? It's only, these guys, right, are looking for some Aryan race business. So I don't understand where these people think that is they're going, right, when they're voting for Trump. But the amount of people that have voted for Trump. And you see, there's this attitude in America that, oh, well, because there's certain parts, right, and you'll have a lot of white people there who will say, well, we all voted for Trump. Everyone we know voted for Trump. So why is he not in power, right? Why is it all these people from the inner cities? And when they say that, they mean people of colour. Right? How comes they've determined, right? Well, and Donald Trump has had the most votes a Republican has ever had. So how comes he hasn't won? That's what's going on in America. This is, but you've got a lot of black and Asian people and Hispanic people backing this shit. I just amazed me. I just want to know where they think they stand in that world. Where do they think it stands for them? The evil of the Rwanda plans. From Humpty Dumpty, not so pretty, the big forehead Pretty Patel. Just knowing what these people went through, right, for them to get them on the planes, right, but how these people was held down and beaten and shackled to be put on these planes, right, remind you of something like the 17th, 18th century. Once again, Britain, right, are holding down people of colour and taking them to somewhere that they don't want to go to. Right? You know, the amount of people that have come out and said, you know what, this is evil what you're doing. You know, Prince Charles has come out and said, you know, this is like, it's a wicked and evil, and he would know. Right? He come from a family of colonialists, so he would definitely know. But even Prince Charles, because obviously he's got a meeting, he's going to a meeting in some type of summit in Rwanda in a couple of weeks' time. So he has to go there with this hanging over him, right? Where a lot of the world leaders are going to be looking at him, because if you notice, yeah, ever since Brexit and how people have realised how racist Britain really, sorry, England really is, because people now around the world have noticed. Why do you think the world's got run out of the Caribbean? This is the reason why this shit is happening, right? That's the reason why the Queen must be really scared for the future of the royal family, especially around the world, because it's just narrowing, right? And a lot of that, yeah, is directly, right, a result of Brexit, right? Because people have looked and people can see how racist this country really is. Because let me tell you, right, the people in the Caribbean, right, they think, right, that the English love them. That's what they think from over there. They've never been here. They think, oh yeah, the English. They think the English, right, are their people. That's what they really do believe that, right? Or they did, right? Because I can remember one time when I was in the Caribbean, like in like the early '90s, and the way how they was talking, I just had to. It was a couple of my cousins. I just had to stop them and say to them, listen, English people don't like us, right? They can't stand the sight of us, and they was like they couldn't believe what I was saying to them. They really, I think they even took offence to it, because they was looking at it and said, well, it's like you don't want me to come to England. That's how they took it, and I'm saying to them, listen, I want you to come to England, but you've got to understand what you're coming into, right? The white people that in the Caribbean. Right. See, in the Caribbean, right, you've got a lot of white people in the Caribbean. Now, as English people, we can see the racism in them, but the people in the Caribbean can't. Right? They can't. Right? But obviously, us coming from here, right, from England, right, we can see. Right. Now, obviously, Caribbean white people, they're not as racist as English white people. Absolutely no way. Because I've got an aunt who is white. She lives over here now, right? But she is white and she speaks with the thickest Caribbean accent, right? And and she's not racist in the least. Anyway, then again, she's had kids with my uncle, so right? But when we go to the Caribbean, we can see it. But a lot of times, the black people who live there can't. I suppose it must be the same thing in Africa. Very similar thing that you get in Africa, right? So, so we tried to explain from way back. Listen, it's not what you think, because my parents come over here with the same attitude that because when they come over here in the late 50s or the early 50s, right, they that's when they obviously must have found out that actually white people aren't really these nice people. They really are, right, like the people who used to whip our ancestors and chain them and shackle them, much like they're doing now with the Rwanda plan, right? So the evilness, right, of this Rwanda plan, and just I don't know. I don't understand how you could know that people have come from a war zone a lot of times that you've created, or you've gone into people's countries, right, and you've gone in there and disturbed governments, and then these people, right, have had to flee from their countries, right, and all of those people that was on that airplane from Rwanda to go to Rwanda, all of those people, right, had come from war zones that we had something to do with it, all of them. And now we're saying to them, oh no, we're going to shackle you, we're going to hold you down, we're going to beat you and put you on aeroplanes, That's what we're going to do to you, right? For because you had the gall, right, to leave your country, right, and get in a dinghy, right, from France, a safe country, to come over here, right, where you're not wanted. So now we're going to shackle you, beat you, and put you on an aeroplane and send you off to Rwanda, right? Another country where that shit can happen to you on a standard basis, right? Where there was 15 people shot a year ago because they was complaining about the lack of food. But that's where we're going to send you. What gets me about that story, right, is the fact that there was 130 odd people on that flight in the first place, right? They took over 100 people off without telling us why. Next thing we know, there was 25, 30 people, and next thing we know, there's 7 people. And then the next thing we know, the flight's not taking off. It's not going anywhere. I think, right, that Boris Johnson and pretty big forehead Patel, right, are scheming. That's what they're out there doing. They're out there scheming. Late night scheming. That's what these people are on. Right? Because I just have this feeling, right, that this whole Rwanda plan, right, never ever, right, had any plans to go off. Because you see, when Prince Charles starts getting involved in this type of thing, right? Because obviously that's not good for his future. Because Prince Charles can't really come out, right? Because the level of racism, right, is stronger than the support for the royals. Okay, so you always remember that, right? You know how the Muslims put, is it Allah or Muhammad, in front of their own mothers, whichever one of the two they put in front of their own mother. Right, you know how these people are, we put everything, right? The Queen comes first. They say, we're going to send black and brown people to Rwanda. Fuck the Queen. Send them. Yeah, that's who these people are, right? The Queen, as far as they're concerned, can't, that what Prince Charles said can't go well for him. But, right, you see, it is a good start for him, because you see, I think that they should just go outside. Forget the government. Just be popular with the people. Popular with the people, no one can trouble you. If they're popular with the people, especially, right, if they've got people like you and I. I'm talking to the lefties now, not you fucking right wing fools. You and I lefties, right? If they get people like us to support them, right, because obviously they've got their hardcore support already. Right, so so if they get people like us to support them, that could work out. That could work out pretty well for them. That seriously could work out pretty well for them. The NHS is in serious problems. A 94-year-old man dies after waiting 5 hours for an ambulance. He phoned the ambulance, right, and after he'd fallen down and hit his head, he phoned the ambulance, and they said to him, he's got a long wait ahead of him. He phoned up again, and they said to him, listen, we're getting someone to you, but we have got some problems because we've got ambulances stacked up, right, waiting to put people into casualty. There's no beds in the hospital. There's no capacity. Right, we could do with the 40 new hospitals. We could do it those. Right, there's no capacity, but if we had 40 new hospitals, where the fuck we gonna get the staff to staff them? See, that's what you've got to ask yourself. Every time Boris Johnson talks and says, 40 new hospitals, say, well, if we haven't got enough staff in what we've got now, where the fuck are you going to get staff for 40 new hospitals? But no one's thinking like that. People are just, yeah, he told us he was going to level up. Oh no. Right? So we've got old people dying, right? Waiting for ambulances. It took 5 hours, right? And then they turned up there. This is after he said to them, listen, on his last phone call to them, which was about the 4th or 5th phone call, he said to them, listen, if you're any longer, you might as well just send the undertaker. That's what he said to them. 5 hours later, they turned up there, found him collapsed, took him to hospital. By the time he got there, he was dead. 94 years old. You know, we've had a man in his 80s, right? You know, die in Gatwick yesterday, I think it was. Right, because he needed help off the plane, but there was no one there to help him off the plane. The people that was there to help him off the plane, there wasn't enough of them. You know, helping other people. So he decided, you know, he's gonna try and help himself off the plane, and then he went and fell down an escalator and died. Right, causation: Boris Johnson. Okay, Brexit, causation. Right, can't get the staff. All the airlines are in serious problems because they cannot get the staff. Right? The airports are in serious problems because they cannot get the staff. Causation: Boris the Pfeffel Johnson, the clown you racist fools put in charge of this country. Right? 200,000 of our fellow citizens are dead because of the clown you people decided to put in charge of this country. The bitch ass stole £37 billion from this country. Causation: Boris Johnson. Right? The clown you put in charge of this country. Right? And now, right, you wonder why we've got old people dying waiting for ambulances, old people dying, you know, in airports because they can't get, you know, help to get off the plane. Right? Have you seen the carousel, you know, of baggage gate at Heathrow Airport? It's manic. Right? Just look at Heathrow and the baggage, right? And then you understand, right? The causation is Bojo the clown that you put in charge of this country when you had the chance for a decent prime minister, and your ass wouldn't have been in this shit now if you wasn't such racist fools. I say that this shit serves you right. Good. 1 in 5 NHS workers want to get the fuck out of there. They want to leave. 1 in 5 want to leave, right? We're already hundreds of thousands of staff members down as it is. The NHS, right, is in a complete mess as it is. And 1 in 5 of their staff members say, you know what? I won't do this shit no more. I want to get the fuck out of here. I want to get the absolute fuck out of here. Need to go. Can't be dealing with this no more. You know, loads of them left over the pandemic. Over that time, loads of them went over that time because, you know, it's just too much. You know, there's not enough staff. You know, from before the pandemic. You know, all of this, right, was happening from before the pandemic. You know, the service had been run down so much. Right? You know, it's an attempt to privatise it. Privatise what's not privatised already, because so much of it is privatised as it is. Right? So much of it is privatised, right? You wouldn't believe the amount of it that's actually privatised, right? You know, people booking to see, like, you're paying private to see a GP, and they turn up and it's their GP, it's their very own GP, and their GP has already told them that morning, oh no, well, you can't get an appointment for about a month. Right? And they said, well, we need can we pay private? Yeah, come in this afternoon. Right? But I'm quite sure that you racist, food bank, working class Tory idiots knew exactly what you was voting for when you've been voting for the Tories for the last 12 years. Right? Even though everything they've done is to hurt you. They say, everything I do is to hurt you. That's what Brian Adams should have said. Gatwick are cancelling flights this summer because of staff shortages. Should we say it's down to Brexit? Because we know it is. That's the shit that's happening under the leadership of Bojo the clown. Boris Johnson was supposed to be in Doncaster yesterday on, speaking about levelling up. Had a massive meeting up there, right, in Doncaster. You know, I think the dog track or the horse racing arena. Massive meeting they were supposed to have. They said we're waiting for Boris Johnson to turn up. Any minute now, he is going to walk through the door anytime soon, right? Because Boris Johnson is coming up to tell you exactly how the levelling up is going to go. He's going to tell us today what the levelling up is going to be about. Boris Johnson was, no, I need to find another fridge. He went and found a bigger fridge, the whole of Ukraine. Boris Johnson preferred to go to a fucking war zone rather than go and face his MPs to tell them how he's going to level some shit up. Because, and hear me out on this, I said this from the start. This is something we were saying from the start. All this levelling up, yeah. The Northerners want to level London down, because that's the only way you're going to bring us down. That's the only way you're going to get us level, is by bringing London down. And that's what they've been trying. They've been trying to level. Right? And I don't understand this attack. I don't understand where this attack has come from. Right? London has always been, right, the financial centre, one of the financial centres of Europe. Right? And the Red Wall have tried to destroy that. Right? In right now, yeah, in Brexit Britain, there's only two places that's working at the moment. Right? That's Northern Ireland and London. The only two places that are in credit. Right? And we have been seriously levelled down in London. Right? So I could imagine, right, that in places like Doncaster and Wakefield and all these Red Wall seats, I could imagine, right, that you people have been levelled down even lower to where you was before, because I'm quite sure, right, that I'm sure that you guys' wages is lower than we get in London, right? So £2, right, a litre of diesel, right, is going to hurt you guys much more than it's going to hurt us down here. Right? So this is what I don't understand. I don't understand why is these people had to, this attack from the Northerners on us. There was really no need for it, because I'm quite sure that it's made you guys much worse. And look at Boris Johnson now. Boris Johnson has got to hide away from you, right? After he told you he was going to level you up, right? Talking about all these fantastic train lines and all this shit, right? And you had Jeremy Corbyn there saying, I'm going to redistribute the wealth, right? And I've looked at so many different rural areas that need bus services. Okay, bus service you can set up in a couple of days. Okay, train lines take so much disruption. All right, you've got places in this country, yeah, where you might get one bus on a Saturday afternoon. You realise, right, that when I was a kid and started going to other cities and that, right, and it's like, whoa, where's your underground? Because I understand something about London, right, is the fact that for us, this is why I can understand, because I've travelled all over the country, this is why I can understand what it's like for people in rural areas and the bus service and things like that, what they need, what Corbyn was offering you. I can understand, because I've seen it. Right, what they actually need, and Corbyn identified what they need: rural bus services, right? Not all these big ideas about train lines. You want big ideas about train lines? Yeah, do that. But what they really need is rural bus services. First thing they need, right? And but all the big ideas that Boris Johnson was coming with, levelling up. Seriously, right? Why? You tell me this. Yesterday was Friday. Today's Saturday. God, did I need to state that? I think I needed to state that for the Brexiters. Right. So why couldn't Boris Johnson have went to Ukraine today? I mean, the EU leaders was there the day before, so he wanted to make a big point. Oh well, the EU leaders, they didn't invite me to come with them, so I'm going by myself. But why didn't he go today? He knew he had a massive meeting, right, about levelling up, right, in Doncaster yesterday. He knew he had that meeting from probably a year ago. Right, it's exactly the same what he done when he was supposed to be voting on the whole Heathrow extension. Right, he fucked off somewhere to the Middle East because the foreign secretary. So, do you know what I mean? It's like, and people know all these things, right? The last time he was asked difficult questions about something about the NHS, he ran off into a fridge from the people at GMB. He's so scared of Susanna Reid, right, that you would think that she was Anthony Joshua because he's so scared of her. Right? You know, the man ran off into a fridge when he was asked questions about the NHS. Didn't want to know. Wasn't interested. And now he's run off to the Ukraine, to a war zone. He could have been targeted by Putin. He would rather do that than go and explain to people the levelling up agenda that he doesn't have. Because he has no levelling up agenda. This is the thing, right? The only thing they can try and do is level London down. And they've done that. They've done that because we've been seriously leveled down. So they've done that. Right? But, I just don't think it's going as well for people in the Red Wall, right? And especially when you see the fact that Johnson is prepared to just run away from you. And I think we should do some Brexit headlines because they're all like Brexit headlines are all very good. The consequences of Boris Johnson and Brexit are coming home to roost, say the Financial Times. A Red Wall candidate says he was stupid for voting for Brexit and he regrets that he done that. He's a Red Wall Tory candidate. Right, must be, I don't know, it must be Wakefield. He might be Wakefield, I'm not sure. Right. David Davis. Ireland's scars will take decades to heal. Decades to heal. Right? All the time we said to them, don't get involved in the Good Friday Agreement because it took big people to write that, right? And you people are not big people, you're fucking arses. And here we are in real problems with it. The long shadow of Brexit is dark. That's got completely the wrong word in there. I don't know how the hell that got in there. The long shadow of Brexit must be showing the dark side of the EU and the UK relations as negotiations stall. For some reason the wrong word was in there. Brexit Britain has been reframed as a fragile flower that needs protecting. A fragile flower that needs protecting is Brexit Britain. Right? And whose fault is that? It's you stupid ass racists for shooting yourself in both feet, right? And both hands. And then you shot yourself in the forehead for good measure. Just missing the brain because the brain's so small. You could shoot a bullet from a shotgun cartridge, from a shotgun into one of their foreheads. And it would still miss their brain from close range. Anyway, my friends, I have to bow out of here because this has been a long video. This is By Any Means Necessary. I'm the MC John Ribs. It was really nice to speak to you guys. Comments below.